We are back. Look at that. It's the First Look program. News Talk 96.1 AM 1180 KERN. Streaming live on the internet. It's kernradio.com. There is still nothing in the world of traffic. That was brought to you by King Door Company. That's your company with the pride of a lion. 397-2744. Get your garage door functioning properly. And if you're one of those people that have your garage, if your car's sitting out there baking in the sun because you got all that junk in your garage, if you needed it, it wouldn't be in the garage. Get it out of there, burn it, give it to Goodwill, whatever, and to keep your cars in the garage. That's there you go. We are joined on the program by, I'm sorry, so what is it? It's Dr. Casteen, is it?
Yeah, that'd be right, Scott.
I got the email that this doctor was I'm like, is it Chip? This sounds terrible, but when you're talking to your dentist, you know what I mean. I haven't seen you in a while, and that's awesome because that means nothing has been going wrong in my oral health. So thanks for that. And I didn't even know what you were going to come on to talk about today because I don't care. You can come in every day if you want to.
You're just perfect, Scott. You don't need any help.
Thank you so much. And look at you all dressed up. That prettiest man I ever saw right there.
Dressed to impress. You know, I have this employee, and she looked at me, and she goes, so you're going to talk to Scott tomorrow? I go, yep. And she goes, what you going to wear? And I said, I'll probably wear my overalls and have a cigar in my mouth.
That's what last time you were here and you had goggles on.
Oh, no. You represent us all. You look good.
And then you said, it's radio, dummy. Get back to work. See, that's what I would have done, which is why I am not running a business of any kind. How you been, man? It's good to see you.
Good.
You still doing the implant dentistry?
I am.
You want to hear the best commercial ever for implant dentistry? When you get them done, you're super aware of them for a while because you didn't have a tooth there and you're like always kind of messing with it, and now there's a tooth back there. But after a few months, you don't notice it's there, and you forget all about it. And that's the best thing you could say about it. It's better than the original equipment. Will never fail you. And it just becomes everything's back the way it was before the teeth were missing. It's fantastic.
It can happen that way.
Yeah.
No, it really came down to just talk about health care in America.
Oh, boy.
Dental care.
Well, dental care is health care.
Agreed.
So a million things can go on in your mouth that'll make you sick.
I mean, just so much has changed in my lifetime. In the 60s, America didn't have a lot of systemic disease. Autism, for example, maybe 1 in 10,000 kids were autistic. Today, 1 in maybe 34.
Wow.
1 in 25 males. That just cost trillions of dollars to deal with this. Obesity in the 60s was probably, 8%.
Yep.
And now it's 50%. And the cost to the economy, the world, is just outrageous. It's not outrageous. It is what it is. But we got a bunch of sick people. So relating that to the mouth, because so many people are on these meds, it dries your saliva and has a condition called xerostomia, which has its maladies, and it accelerates tooth decay. And so many of the boomers are on so many different medications, and all their teeth are shot because they have dry mouth, and they're looking for replacements. So that's the beginning of the subject.
So that's a big subject, though. You're talking about a whole. It may not begin with like oral health care, dental health care, but it certainly runs through that, doesn't it? I didn't realize that was all. It runs through because of dry mouth because you're not making enough slobber in your mouth.
Well, big pharma. I mean, the advances in microhistology, microbiology, and pharmacology have changed our lives. If you just look at, how long people live today compared to 20 or 30 years ago, the average life expectancy today was, probably about 83.7 years, I think. In the 60s, it was probably about 65 or 66.
Yeah.
You retired at 65 and you died at 66.
Yeah, it's a good way. It's perfect.
If we all die at age 40, we wouldn't have these damn problems.
The world would be a better place. Social Security would be solvent.
To help the U.S. out of its jam.
But we have so many drugs now, and we take so many of them to extend our. There's so many things that you get, but we really are starting to see the long-term effects of of these. When they come out with a new drug that it'll lower your cholesterol or whatever, we don't know what that's going to do to you in 30 years. And we're starting to find out that taking too many drugs is causing a lot of different problems.
Correct. The beauty of drugs is they keep you alive longer. The horror is they got side effects. Big Pharma is huge. I mean, Novo Nordisk, I think, is the largest company in the EU. So, I mean, they're like 35 billion. I think all of McDonald's does like 25.
21.5 billion last year.
I mean, all the...
and they're all set up in Switzerland, too, including Nordisk is Swiss also. Wonder why that is.
It's actually a Danish company.
But aren't they...
Denmark. But, Lilly and Novo are predominant right now with their new drugs to help the diabetic community.
So
everyone's taking it for weight loss, but go ahead.
Do people just need to be more aware of this and have like more holistic,
Well, I think it comes down to food. I mean, America, I can see my marketing person over here. He's going to hurt me for this. It's a mob. Yeah. Politically, it's a mob.
Sure.
Culturally, it's a mob.
Yep.
And we got some bad choices and habits. I think it's complex, but there's hundreds and hundreds of substances that are banned in Europe that are allowed in the food consumption of America.
Yeah.
And I think many of these diseases are related to food intake. But in regards to tooth loss, it's not really related to economics. If you look at a country like Gambia, for example, which the average person in Gambia makes about $800 a year, they got more teeth in their head in Gambia than they do in the United States.
Yeah.
But we're giving a lecture. I think when is it, Mark? Next Tuesday.
Shouldn't you know that though? Shouldn't you have that? Know when that is?
I have guys like him follow me around, so I'll make my appointments.
You go to, like, we got new insurance and I got a new doctor and all of that stuff. And I mentioned to him and you do that first initial where they kind of figure out what kind of shape you're in. You know what I mean? Has anybody ever heard a doctor? Why has a doctor never asked patients what they eat? Shouldn't that be like one of the first things that you would like? What are we working here with? What kind of fuel are you running this engine on?
Well, in my line of work at the Center for Implant Dentistry, that's a real common conversation because most of my patients have mutilated mouths, and if they got teeth, they probably need to come out. And so mascatory function is critical to digestion. Primary digestion happens in the mouth. And when you lose all your teeth, there's so many consequences, socially, physically, orally. It's terrible. And replacing teeth is never simple or cheap.
No. But it is worth it.
So that's the bag. I don't know. Somehow I drifted into this career of rebuilding mouths and love doing it.
Considering it wasn't that long ago, you were living in a van at the Chevron station in Mammoth.
Yeah.
And now,
I was a happy boy.
But
I was a happy boy being a vagabond. I had the cleanest VW van you ever saw, and I had a can in there for tips for hitchhikers I picked up. Mammoth Lakes, I used to sleep at the library because I figured if I parked there in the library parking lot, the old library, not the new one.
Yeah, the one off Forest Trail.
And there was like a 15-foot bank of snow there. I like dug a little small cave in there, and that's where I kept my food.
And now?
And I would work at the Hummingbird restaurant.
Oh, I worked at the Hummingbird.
No way.
Yeah, they made that bread every morning. They took that bread out of the oven like at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it was a real organic type of restaurant.
Been there, done that at the Alpenhof Lodge.
I was the guy who was chopping all the potatoes so they could cook.
And I was right down there in the ghetto on Joaquin Street, down there in my one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
You could have come hang out with me. In exchange for like complimentary health care. I think I could have got you to sign off on that in your youth.
Yeah, well, I skied everything, man, from Wyoming all through New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and it ended up at Mammoth Lakes, and it was a good time.
Oh, bet it was. I was there right before Thanksgiving. It was
You know,
a good
the
time
odd
then,
thing
too.
was there's like a little community of us that lived in our vans. There's these cats from New Zealand, and they had like 3 different vans, and I'd pull up, we'd make a little campfire, and those guys could drink. I don't drink, but oh my
Those
God.
Kiwis have put it away, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well,
There's a bunch of Kiwis up there working. Probably still are.
I did notice a lot of people on the mountain with weird accents. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about what you're talking about in your what did you call it? You're giving a presentation.
Yes, sir.
Is that what that suit's about? I mean, that you look good. What is it, Mary, the lady at the office?
Dude, will you settle down?
She doesn't have to worry about it. We'll be right back. It's the First Look program. News Talk 96.1 AM 1180 KRN. Streaming live on the internet, kernradio.com.
Stop acting so crazy.
We're okay. By the way, just a tip for you people out there who are married: don't ever say to your wife, "Stop acting so crazy." It's the First Look program. News Talk 96.1 AM 1180 KRN. Let's see what's going on in traffic real quick. It's brought to you, of course, by King Door Company, your company with the pride of a lion. By the way, speaking of crazy wives, did my wife send my message the other day when she went into the office? I told her to say hello and give you my best. I hope she managed to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, she came home happy. All right, now we got to get to the actual news part of this that we totally glossed over. And this is why you have a media guy, and this is why you have to have adult supervision at all times. Now, trust me on this. He is the single greatest technician when it comes to oral health that I've ever been around in my entire life, and I've known some. The 18th at 7 o'clock. Where is? I'll just ask. Where's he giving his speech? At the office at Capital Dental Group, which, by the way, did the Pentec surface all the way around the building, and other businesses should take note. They did a great job on that.
Great job.
Thanks, Holloway.
Steve was unreal with that. He came back, and yeah, it was solid.
He should be mayor. I've always said. I got nothing against Karen Go or any of that, but why? How is Holloway not mayor?
Hollywood's smart enough not to want it, but I call him mayor all the time.
I'm going to start doing that too.
One of the nicest people I've ever met. Seen it in action.
Everybody at the Racket Club calls him Puma, but I'm going to start calling him mayor. And then, and that's going to be at 7 o'clock, Capital Dental Group over there on Camino Media. It's a wonderful place.
Well, if you got a bunch of messed up teeth and you're not quite sure what to do about it, and you haven't seen a dentist in 5 or 15 years, come on in. We'll talk about it. Maybe I fit, maybe I don't, and at least educate you on your condition.
Yeah, that's another thing. And by the way, that's the main reason that I thought you were the best dentist ever, is you give people advice. Here's what I would do. Here's what you can do. Here are your options. You don't push anybody into anything. If you want to do it right, here, do this.
I'm a bit on the blunt and raw side,
yes,
but I like it served up that way.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right. And this is the part where I know what you're going to do. I don't deserve it or whatever. On the 22nd, beautiful Bakersfield Awards. Looks like you're in the hopper there. What'd you win?
You know, I don't know how I got mixed up with all that. I could care less whether I win this award or not.
Right.
And
which is why
I would say my staff deserves it, but there's a lot of incredible people in Bakersfield. You know, Stenson and Holloway are too.
Oh, Ben. Again, that's another guy that I think
Dr. Brad Anderson comes to mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, really solid people in this town. Yeah. And you don't hear about them a lot, people that make the town a better place, because they're not angling for it. They're not jumping in front of cameras and microphones. You know what I mean? We had to lure you in here today. So what's the award? What category are you in the beautiful Bakersfield Awards?
I don't know. Local freak.
That's probably not true. And by the way, the only person who has an utterly and completely state-of-the-art, down to the last minute detail, dental health facility, oral surgery, all of that.
I'll tell you what we got that's cool.
What?
We got a wonderful in-house lab that makes all our prostheses.
Yep.
And I got these technicians out of Ukraine. All right. Everyone with skills in Ukraine wants to leave. And so the State Department's got a special program whereby you can accelerate their visa and get them in the U.S. And so I had to sign up to pay all these guys bills for like 2 years through the State Department. But
Very Chip Casteen thing to do.
hardworking, really highly skilled. Some of the best ceramists in Eastern Europe. Got 4 of them in there now. Got another one on his way. And this guy, to get out of Ukraine, went through Moldova, if I say that right.
Moldova.
Yeah, he gave like $3,000 to some people who smuggled him out in a van or a truck, and he was hiding between the panels. And then he went and slept in the forest for 2 days, and then he hitchhiked up to Warsaw, Poland, and we're going to fly him out of there.
Oh, that's awesome.
The extent that these people are trying to get into America and have opportunity, and in a legit way.
Yeah. And look at you provide. Is that what this award's about?
No, this award. I don't know what the hell that award's about.
By the way,
you have to ask somebody that knows.
He honestly does not know what. I guarantee you, does not know what that. What's his award about? Harvey, that's the big one. That's like Best Picture. You're telling me, I don't know, I was in this movie. Yeah, it's
whatever.
That's the biggest award you can get. That's the Harvey Hall Lifetime Achievement Award.
I got people that work for me that deserve an award, but yeah, I'll leave it at that.
No, I won't. No, that is absolutely well deserved right there. You are I hate everybody. And there's like 8 people that I'm super impressed by that make the world a better place. And I'm glad that one of you is finally getting some recognition.
We'll see.
We're going to see. Congratulations. Well, it's the most well-deserved thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
So let's talk about music, man. When's the last time you played some...
You want to know the truth? Oh, you mean played, or do you like played on the
on the radio? You need to put in some Grand Funk, American Railroad.
We do that all the time. We just had Jimi Hendrix.
All right,
we're getting it done. I'm still representing. You tune in on. I went to see Tedeschi Trucks Band in Los Angeles with Little Feat.
Wow.
Yeah,
I haven't
wow.
heard that in a long time.
I hadn't either, and I'm telling you what, it's not the original lineup because those guys are older than you and me combined.
It's weird how you and I connect on multiple levels. We got the ski thing. We got the music
It's weird,
thing.
right?
We're both talk without a filter, so we're trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And then put the two together at the same time, you look out. So, yeah, it really is. We were in Mammoth at the same time in the same place. You know where Joaquin Street is? You know where the Chevron station is?
Absolutely.
They call it the Ghetto.
I used to work at Chevron. That was my gig. I would start at like, I think a 1 or 2 and... No, it was more like 3 in the afternoon, and I worked till 11. The highway patrol comes in there late, fuels his car at about 9:30 or 10. He goes off at 11. If you're going to speed out of Mammoth, just start at 11 o'clock and head south.
You know what the best thing, especially the reason I still have fond memories of all the highway patrolmen up there. If you were coming into town from wherever, if you were traveling and whatnot, they would recognize your car and wave you through. And they know you knew how to drive in the snow. So you didn't have to, like, chains or whatever the deal is. Everybody had a 4-wheel drive. Everybody had a Subaru Outback. And the highway patrol, but yeah, we know that, dude. And they would just wave you through because they knew they could trust you to get back to your house all right. Those guys were awesome. That's a hard job being a CHP up there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. It's a lonely highway. But, yeah, I worked at Chevron back when it was a real Chevron. I mean, I pumped people's gas, cleaned their windshield, checked their oil. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the name of what was that lovely, lovely couple? Was it Eileen? The couple that owned the Hummingbird restaurant.
You got me.
Is Eileen and her husband, they were just the nicest people.
They were.
And you could get a part-time gig just bussing tables or whatever and pick up a little extra cash. And,
all the ski bums were working.
And then they would come get Robert Schopmeyer, who ran and owned the Alpenhof Lodge. He would, if you would help unload tour buses that pulled into the parking lot, you could use the game room for free.
I used to use their post office box for have people to mail me letters.
They
would mail them to that hotel.
Yeah, people just don't realize if you weren't in the middle of all that. The DMV was at the library in Mammoth once a month for like 2 hours. That was our DMV experience. What are you being forced to say now?
Oh, Mark wants me to repeat the idea that we got a free dental implant seminar June 18th at 7 p.m. at Capital Dental Group.
Why did you even bring that guy? How much fun would we have if we didn't have to get
Dr.
into
Willis
subject
and I
matter?
are going to chop it up with people.
He's a good guy too.
And explain how you can change your life by fixing your mouth. You know,
100%.
everyone in the world just needs a dental hygienist. You don't have to marry him. Just park your damn car in the parking lot and go have your hood popped open and have them clean that stuff up. No one.
If it's the one I'm thinking about that did my teeth last time, I think, yeah, I'm going to marry him. Why not? Doc, it's great to see you. Let's call me sometime. You're elusive. You pop up for a second and I never see you. And congrats on beautiful Bakersfield Award. You do make this town a better place to live, and I appreciate that a great deal.